That stretch. Whew. Hello, and welcome to episode 199 of the Super Weapon Podcast, the most overpowered podcast on the internet. It's your boy Darius the Artist, and as always, got my co-host DC here with me today.
What up, though? Good morning, America. Let's get some sandwich debate going. Who makes the best PB and J? No, I'm joking. But
Do
what's
you
up,
mix
everybody?
your PB and J before you put it on your
wait.
bread?
Let me tell you something. If you buy the peanut butter and jelly that come together in the same jar, just go ahead and unsubscribe from me now. Just go away. All right.
No,
You are what's wrong.
not the one jar, but have you ever? Do you take both, put it in a bowl, mix it, and then put it on your bread?
Why? That's extra step for nothing. It's
My
going to
wife-
mix in your mouth.
My wife asked me to do that for her.
Oh,
She likes
said
hers
no.
mixed. Yeah.
No, that's like people who mix like
Yeah,
ketchup
but no,
and mustard together.
definitely don't buy the mixed already on the shelf. No, that's disgusting. Absolutely not.
Hey, if you eat that, you what's wrong with America? All right, you probably don't vote. I don't know. I'm just saying.
Yeah, so let us know in the comment section, man, when you guys are watching this on YouTube. How do you like your PB and J's made? If you eat them,
random, but I was just thinking about that as we started the show for some odd reason. I was thinking about that, but let's get back.
No, hey man, it's so funny. That was I thought that was pretty funny, man. But yeah, man, how you been, man? It's been a heck of a week, I'll say, for news. You know, it all kind of like came out yesterday, I guess. Like everything that just kind of exploded. But how's your week been, man? You've been playing a little GTA. You back on the grind, prepping for 6, man?
Yeah, it's my cozy game, man.
It's your cozy game. Okay.
I just deliver pizza and run my businesses. I don't know why. It's so dumb, but it's like, I don't know. It's just I'll put on YouTube's or maybe some music, a little bit of YouTube, some music. Then I'll just be like doing my little business missions, like delivering pizza, just little weird stuff. Sometimes I just use the game to like unwind. Then I only play my football on the weekends. So
NCAA 25, man. How is it going?
Well, last week, because like I said, because the thing is, I know me.
Yeah.
So I have to prioritize my stuff a certain way, and NCAA will just consume my life. So I have to be adult about it. So I'm like, okay, I'm only going to play this on the weekend because I will fall into the trap and I will lose hours on my life. I won't get nothing done. So being a responsible adult, a responsible gaming adult, I'm like, okay, I'm only going to play this on the weekends.
Right.
I played it last weekend. I'm going to play this weekend, obviously. But so far so good, man. It's been good.
Are you doing like
really
the
enjoying
online
everything.
dynasty stuff, or are you playing? Have you played
doing
anyone
the-
online yet? Have you done that? Like,
Nah, see, I'm not really that person to go online. This is kind of a
Preach.
game I want to keep to myself. Like, I don't want to deal with the stupidity of online. So I do every other mode except for online. Will I play online? Probably. Yeah, I probably will, but it won't be like a big priority. We'll probably get together with like my brother, Era, and a few of the homies and play against each other. But
right.
I'm not really too keen on just going online playing random people. I'll probably do it, but I probably won't do it a lot. Like NCAA is a game I like to just enjoy for what it is. Like it just takes my mind off stuff. Another cozy game, if you will. No, I wouldn't even call that cozy because that game is rage-inducing at times. But yeah, I'm Michigan, so Michigan is known to have a very good run game, and I love to run, so I've been enjoying it. I just got out of my rookie season where I wasn't getting any PT.
So you're doing the road to glory, right? That's what that is.
Yeah. our running back who was like averaging damn near 1,000 yards a game on some freak shit, and he graduated. So they put me in, coach. This
So
year
it's
is
your
gonna
time
be my year.
to shine. Oh, that's awesome, man. See, I'm so glad to hear that. Like, cause I'm kind of the same way you are, man. I'm not really big into playing people as much in my older years on sports games.
Mm-hmm.
And shout out to Weenie and Chat. He said he prefers couch co-op. See, there is something to say about playing sports games
Mm-hmm.
like couch co-op, that split screen.
Oh, you used to yell
Uh,
at people, "Don't look at my
yeah,
plays."
don't
You
look at my
remember that?
plays. Don't you cheating? You know what I mean? It's
You had to have integrity back then.
yeah.
Hey, bro, put your head down while I pick my play.
Yeah, and it's EA is really like I think they really are going to capitalize on just like the momentum of this going into Madden. And I know you're not like a as big of a fan of Madden,
I'm
the Frank.
buying Madden just because I'm importing my player
You
from
see,
NCAA to
and
Madden.
and that's exactly what I was going to say. That's how they're going to get people, and they're going to get you. They're going to get me too.
Mm-hmm.
It's just having that idea of keeping that story going. The stuff we used to do as kids with sports games, and I think they really know what they're doing, and it's cool to see. So yeah, man. I
Yep,
was
they're
just
gonna get me.
yeah, because
Bastards are gonna get me to get a
Madden's
Madden.
out,
Well,
I
it's
think in 2
actually
weeks.
on
So
Game Pass, so
yeah, that is true. So yeah, if you guys are
yeah.
into NCAA, man, let us know what your favorite team is, favorite college you're repping, man. That'd be cool. All right, so let's just talk about all this stuff that's kind of happened over the last 4 or 5 days, man. A lot of unionization, a lot of um, big news that kind of hit the industry all at once. You had a SAG after strike in the video game industry, which is I think it's the first of its kind. It's something that's kind of been brewing in the background for the last year or so. And this was actually pretty interesting that this kind of came down because it all kind of routes back to AI. And we were just talking about the implications of what AI could potentially be for the entertainment industry as a whole, and it's starting to kind of creep its way to the gaming, man. You're starting to see studios use generative AI for rendering textures, just a bunch of other tasks and things, and they're starting to kind of creep into that territory of wanting to use it for voice acting, and that's what this really kind of stems from. And I'm not super surprised to see this happen. I mean, like I said, just the other day, Blizzard became a union as well, like the day before Bethesda did. So you have two
Mm-hmm.
unions kind of established into Microsoft now, and then this strike kind of comes down, and it seems like you're starting to see a little bit more regulation come into the industry, man. And there's a list of studios that they are striking against, and there are some caveats that we'll kind of talk about. But it's a lot of the bigger studios, Activision, Disney, EA, Insomniac, Take Two, WB. Like there's quite a few of like large studios on here that have some pretty big projects going. Especially Insomniac working on Wolverine and the next Spider-Man game. But how do you kind of feel about all this stuff kind of happening now, man? Like I said, we're starting to see like this big sweeping change in the industry. Like you're starting to see people fight back against the layoffs, and how it seems like there's just this sweeping kind of change coming through the industry, and I think it's needed personally. But yeah, what did you kind of think about all this stuff of all these people and these groups organizing?
Well, on the dev end, we definitely need to see it more unionized because of all the wild situations we've heard about devs and the things that they have to go through. One of the biggest issues, including crunch, which what I was trying to explain to my brother, which was one of the main issues. Man, I just wish we had our argument on tape because that lead
Sure.
into games like Madden, which we were just talking about,
Yeah.
getting pushed out every year as a incomplete game because you got think about it, all the stuff they have to do within a year in a football game, right? You
Yeah.
got mocap, it's so much you have to do within a year. So these guys are constantly devs get abused. Let's just call it what it is. Sometimes devs they receive a very stink end of the stick. So for
Yeah,
them to start
especially, yeah, absolutely.
to get together and form these unions and demand better work conditions, hey, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. As far as like, anything like what is it? You're gonna see more of this. You're gonna see more. It's like it takes one person to shake the tree, right?
Yeah,
And then you're gonna have a lot of people coming together. Now, how that's gonna affect the industry is gonna I personally believe we will see longer longer development times.
yeah,
And I'm okay with that because if you think about it, we have a lot of games. Gamers, I told my brother this. We are the most entitled, spoiled bunch of people on the face of the planet. Like, we don't consider nobody else's feelings nothing. We just give me games. Give me more games. Why this
I'm
ain't coming
excited for
out?
the next game that I haven't finished this game, and it goes into the backlog forever yet.
Yeah, it's like, who are you to keep demanding this?
Yeah.
And you haven't beat 100. You got 100 games in your backlog, and you crying about, oh, it's taking forever for GTA 6 to come out. Blah, blah. And by the way, side note, hey, that game getting pushed back to Foreverary. But that's another story. Anyway,
Well, actually, it's funny you mentioned that. They actually came out and made a statement saying that they're still working. The SAG-AFTRA still working with GTA 6, like that particular game. It's like there's just stipulations on certain projects that they have that they are boycotting. So it's not every single game that these studios are developing, but I think there's like there's a resource page that they have on the actual site, that you can put in some information to find out if that particular game. They specifically called out GTA 6, which I thought was pretty funny. I mean, because we know GTA 6, whenever it does come out, it's going to be the number one selling game of all time, right? Even like it just kind of shows the staying power of that franchise, right? Like I thought that was pretty funny, but yeah,
but you know
I
what's
agree.
funny about that? Not to even get more sidetracked, but hey, here we are. There was ex devs who worked at Rockstar who came out and said that people should taper their expectations
Yeah,
for GTA 6 because they said in so many words they said that they wasn't really doing too much anything groundbreaking as far as like the story,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and it feeds into my theory that they are going to make the biggest monetization machine you have ever seen online. I'm telling you, this game is going to have so much bullshit online. Like, they are like, man, I don't put it past anyone nowadays, especially with a lot of these companies trying to get their footing on how to make more money.
Sure.
So it's going to be interesting. GTA is going to be like the biggest video game think piece of our time. I'm telling you, it's
It
going to be
is.
a clusterfuck when it come out, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely gonna be interesting whenever it does hit, and I think that, like I said, like them just specifically mentioning that GTA 6 was still on schedule, making it, they're still gonna be producing it. I thought that was just an interesting call out because it just really speaks to the volume of influence that game has on entertainment in general. I mean, because SAG-AFTRA, if you guys don't know, they just struck last year. I think it was earlier last year,
Hmm.
for the TV and movie industry. And that was about a year. It was
And
close to a
we
year.
predicted this, right?
Yeah,
We predicted this. We said it was coming.
yeah. It made too much sense, and this is something like that I was when I was looking into it. Kind of originates back to like 2019, and because they have a vote, and then they'll vote to initiate a strike if needed, which was last year, and then the strike went into effect July 26th as of this recording, and I just keep trying to tell people, like, as the industry keeps kind of growing here and tech companies keep making their mark on entertainment and just like influence on the economy, man. Like I was telling DC, I really think I have like this weird theory with AI and how I think as it continues to expand that gaming is going to kind of get swept up in some government regulation because gaming
Mm-hmm.
is still a part of the entertainment industry, and it's becoming more and more mainstream as the generations behind us kind of grow up. They grew up with games, tablets, and things like that. So it's starting to kind of become more a part of like normal life. And this in my opinion is just kind of like the first step of seeing that kind of stuff. Like these groups within the industry are trying to fight this and demand that there's some stipulations that need to be put in place with AI, because just imagine your favorite actor doesn't sign a contract like this, and a studio can just take Johnny Depp's face and make Pirates 92 100 years from now, still using his
Exactly.
likeness and character and stuff. Like this type of stuff is pretty scary, man. Like especially in the day age we are in with content creation, everybody putting their information online, their faces and stuff. Like I'm not doom and gloom when it comes to AI, but I don't think people really understand the impact it's gonna have in about 5 to 10 years. Like I think people are just not paying attention. That's all I'm gonna say. But
Because you think about it like this, right? Like, all right, we'll just go and chat, and we're going to get to your adventure here in a little bit, sir. This is I want to know about that. Maybe you know, off of the podcast, we'll talk about that because I'm reading. If you guys don't know, we are live Saturdays at 11 a.m. Eastern. Come join us and be a part of the chat because I'm reading chat, and these guys are some good goddamn people. But anyway, just imagine this. What if they needed an extra, right? Who's to say they just can't say, all right, we'll take Avi. We'll just take Avi and put her in our movie. Just people like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's gonna get weird. So you're gonna start seeing like a lot of regulations coming down. They're gonna have to adjust to AI as it grows because like, hey, like, oh,
yeah,
we could take this guy. Say if they're looking at Darius's stream, oh, he looks like a guy that we need. We could put him as an extra. Like you could just literally take anyone's image without
I mean,
necessarily getting their approval.
perfect
Like that's
perfect
weird.
example with the I think it was Pokimane and Valkyrie and some of those other young ladies who had their faces superimposed on some not so
They just did it to the girl
yeah
from
friendly. Yeah, they'll take like like I said, young ladies who are streamers, and they'll do that to people. Like I think it's just coming, and I think it's time that there is some sort of regulation in the games industry. I mean, you just kind of see studios dropping employees left and right. I mean, the layoffs and stuff have kind of reached critical mass, in my opinion, and it's getting to the point that you're starting to have people who wanted to be a part of the industry move out of it. You're not having a whole bunch of new talent come in, especially in North America,
right.
and that's gonna affect, I think, the long term. I mean, you guys think about it, right? Like the next generation. It's crazy to say this out loud, but we're 4 years into our current generation of consoles, right? So we're gonna hit in 2 to 3 years another generation, in my opinion. The games that they're making now are gonna be the games for that generation. That stuff could kind of leak over, so you're gonna see delays, and this generation already started off weird, in my opinion. Like this was especially because of COVID and everything, it didn't really feel like it was the next generation of gaming, and I think that could be a major point where studios start to turn and look at AI. It's like, okay, well, if we can't fill, you know, these particular roles or some menial tasks that we deem that aren't, super, that are very tedious, we can use AI to kind of subjugate that and do that, substitute that stuff in.
Wait, hold on.
It's,
See, this is what I talk about with this live audience. We have a returning man from the
oh, what's
Canadian
up, Anderson?
land. It's good to see you, Anderson.
Anderson,
Good to
you
see you,
missed
my
our
friend.
you missed our interview with another Canadian 2 weeks ago, man. By the way, shout out
You
to
got to go back and check
Iron
that
Bangle.
out.
Yeah.
You got to go check out your Canadian brethren.
Yep.
But they just did that with Shorty from Stranger Things. They took her face and put it on a lingerie body.
Yeah.
And people were on Twitter
Disgusting.
arguing if it was real or not. Like people were literally confused because
Yeah.
like it looked legit, but I'm like, come on, like Shorty's like that ain't in her character. So I try to give people benefit of the doubt. I'm like, I don't think she would take these pictures, so I'm gonna say it's fake. And people's like,
Yeah.
oh, that's real. Oh man, that's real. And I'm like, AI is going to be very, very tricky to deal with. And then even with the gaming industry, that could essentially replace a lot of jobs. So that's also why you see these unions forming because it's like, hey, like we need work. You know what I'm saying?
We
So
need work and fair representation in and AI regulation. That's what they want. Like that. Those are the hot button topics. I mean, you kind of saw the same thing with crypto over the last couple of years. You're starting to kind of see regulation on that here and there. You're starting to see a lot of bigger companies invest into it, like BlackRock and some of those other, you know, huge companies that they're starting. I mean, the economy. People are starting to realize that it's not just a gimmick, like crypto, and not just cryptocurrency. But I really do think like as we kind of progress towards this uncertain future. I mean, AI is here to stay. Unfortunately, man. Like I said a couple episodes ago when we talked about it, you can't put the genie back in the bottle. It's too late. You know, and
yep, and it's growing at a rapid rate. So you're
yeah,
gonna see a lot of quick adjustments. That's why I'm happy for what people are doing because you gotta
yeah,
like life is already hard, man. It's like you know what I'm saying. You got a lot going on, and people are just trying to survive inflation and everything that's else crazy that's going on in the world right now. So to have to compete with like AI as well, and it's not. I mean, it's not going to be just for that industry. You know what I'm saying?
no, no.
Like when you think about it, we all need to be on the side of these people that are forming these groups because AI is going to eventually start leaking into everyone's job. Like it's going to
AI
be
is gonna touch
everywhere.
every facet of society. Like I try. I
Yeah.
know some people don't, if you guys don't read a lot of sci-fi or anything like that, there's like these points in certain IP and stuff where you kind of see like this one thing in technology just changed the world forever, and it's going to be AI. Like in about it, it's going to be AI from having an AI Siri with AI capabilities on your phone to you know asking AI to drive you to work essentially. Like it's gonna be crazy, man. But I'm glad, like I said, man. If you guys are interested in supporting SAG AFTRA, please make sure I'll give these links that I have to DC so we can kind of spread this information out because it's important. Like I said, they want people to talk about this. They want people to be
Hmm.
informed, especially the type of year that we're in. Election year and all that. AI can really swing the pendulum one way or the other. But it's scary times. And, I'm not trying to be all doom and gloom. Like I said, I think regulation is
I don't
good.
think it's doom and gloom. I would rather look at it as being informative. And
Yeah,
people need to know what's going on, man. Whether it's just like little tad bits of news, like
yeah,
I watch news, but I watch it in small doses
yeah,
because after a while it could drive me insane. But I'm the type of person I just feel like I need to be informed. So stuff like this as well, because like you said, it's going to affect everyone within the next 10 years.
yep.
And if you have kids and stuff, it's something that you just want to be aware of, and so we can move accordingly. Like, don't be the last one on the train. I always tell people, don't be the last
Yeah,
person on the train,
this is
man.
definitely that point in time that people are gonna look back at and be like, yeah, I should have jumped on early. I should have paid attention to it. Um, don't wait until it's already regulated for you to be informed. I'm not even saying like invest or anything. We're not telling you to do anything like that, but just be informed of what could be coming, man. And just shout out to Tori and Chad. He said change is scary. Yeah, humans are creatures of habit. You always and I feel like technology is just accelerating at this crazy pace. It's hard to keep up with everything nowadays, even for me.
Yeah, there is
And
a thing called the technology race too, because
yeah,
people are always trying to one up each other in the tech industry. So
yeah,
that's
it's never
why,
ending, man.
yeah,
I always make that joke with you about bleeding edge, like living on the bleeding edge. Like it's
I'm
never.
close to getting a new phone, guys. Just hang in there. Two
Yeah,
more months.
this guy's
Two
gonna
more
get a new
months.
phone, which would be cool. But
I'm gonna get an
um,
iPhone 16. Okay, leave me alone.
but yeah, I encourage you guys. Like if you guys are interested in reading more about this stuff, man, it's all over the internet. Like I said, we'll put some of I'll give DC some of these links, and we'll just put them in the description for the episode. Because there's ways that you can support SAG-AFTRA, and hopefully this kind of gets resolved as soon as possible, so we can so everyone can go back to making games and being treated like humans.
Yes.
To being treated like a human being.
But you know what's crazy? So I'm out there, right? And what I mean by out there, every now and then, your boy catch a smooth date or whatnot.
Okay.
And
okay.
I speak to women who have they'll have kids or a kid, and it's funny because they say the same thing. They like, oh well, he plays games all day. I would love to get him into the gaming industry and blah 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 blah. And when I start breaking it down to them, yeah, because you look at it with these rose-colored lenses, right? I was like, just because your kid loves to play games or good at games doesn't mean he might be built for the industry. Making a game and then playing a game is two different things. Like,
yes,
it's not fun making a game. Well, I'm not going to say that. It's work. It's literally work to make these games. Like, it's hard work. So with that being said, you have... Yeah, it's a lot of pressure. The industry is forever changing. There's forever layoffs. You're like, it's not really everything you expect it to be. Like, and it's not, I'm not telling these people this to scare them. It's just to put a realistic lens on it. Because I mean, when we was in college, how many people we saw in the gaming program who ended up dropping out, who was like, yo, this is like nuts.
It's not for the faint of heart. Like you think about it, right? Like, I always try to put stuff in perspective. Nowadays, the typical AAA title takes anywhere from 5 to 7 years of development time, right?
And if it fails,
being generous, right?
Mm-hmm.
Imagine you work on one thing for almost half a decade or plus of your life, like one singular project. And it releases, and the internet tears it apart. They absolutely hate it, and
then your studio folds.
And they know where you work because you're on Twitter or you're on LinkedIn or you're on
now they're
Instagram. Now you're harassing you. Like, it's that takes a mental toll on people. Like, that's essentially what I'm saying. But I think, man, I really do want people to continue. Yeah, you really do have to kind of have a love for either just making art or game development in general. And it's not for the faint of heart, man. I mean, I want to see the industry continue to grow, man. And I think, like I said, I think places like Blizzard and Bethesda unionizing really, those two are pretty big studios in the industry. And I'll give Microsoft their fair shake. I'll give them their just due. Like, y'all supported them to do that, even though y'all fired 1,900 people in January.
So it's like
y'all still supported their efforts to go ahead and unionize it. So hopefully,
now let me ask you a question: do you think they did that because they didn't want the backlash if they didn't support it?
No, I think Phil's a man of his word. He's talked about that for years now, like unions and supporting. He wants to support the industry as much as he can. He wants to support developers and artists and make them feel like they're valued and, their jobs aren't hanging on by a knife for, working on a game that people may or may not like, right? I'll give him his credit. Like, he tries with that. And hopefully this is the first steps of actually seeing some action behind his words. And it's a scary time for a lot of these places, especially, unionizing and trying to fight the man or, the powers that be. But, I'm glad to see we're starting to see some kind of change in regulation to protect the developers. Because, like I said, if I'm a kid growing up, just like DC was saying, we were just laughing about it. But, if I'm growing up right now and I want to be a game developer and I'm starting to hear these stories, I would be scared to jump into the industry. I probably still would because I'm an idiot. And you still do learn transferable skills. You can go work in the movie industry, or you can, go work in TV, or you can. There's other avenues people are pivoting to, but
Yeah.
I really hate to see. I would hate to see the industry kind of collapse in on itself, and then it's just there's no room for smaller studios or medium sized studios. Either you're a small indie team or you're a quadruple A developer. I don't want to see that happen to the industry because I think that's what's going to end up happening. You're going to keep seeing consolidation. You're going to keep seeing closures because one game didn't do well, or people were just talking about the one game Concord that we played, right? Like,
Right.
it was a fun game, but people kind of, I keep going back to that it's a $40 game. That are people going to really invest in that? And what happens if they don't, right? Is Sony going to close that studio? Or they're going to break that partnership?
And that's the scary part. When you get in this business, like you said, you dedicate a certain amount of time of your life. Let's say, like with a GTA, right? You didn't dedicate it like, whatever,
like,
7 years.
That's like 12, 10, 11, however
Right.
long it's
Yeah,
been.
you just, I'm just saying, like creating let's say creating a core game. Now, what if it would have flopped? Like the scary thing about the industry to me is it's like all the studio hopping because you got a certain amount of people. You got a certain amount of people in the industry, and when the studios close, that's a big group of people that's going to be looking for a new job. So it's very competitive too.
Yep.
So
And then you're flooding the industry with unemployed talent in these same hot spots. Your San Diego's, your LA's, your New York's, Montreal,
places that cost a lot
hot
to live.
hot spots. Yeah, hot spots for the entertainment industry. I would even kind of say Atlanta, but not really so much for gaming. But for artists and people who have transferable skills like you, and now you're competing with all of these people, and you're trying to put a portfolio together, trying to make sure your best pieces, show off what you can do and how you can be valuable to a studio, and then hopefully you'll get a temporary contract that they'll maybe renew a few months down the road.
Trust me, and freelancing. Oh boy,
you're essentially a freelancer. You're essentially a forever freelancer.
Freelancing is the most. Let me tell you something. Freelancing is the most stress-inducing, hardcore shit you can do, especially in an industry that's flooding with people. I lived off freelance graphic design before, and every month was like a new adventure that I didn't want to have because it's like, am I going to make rent?
Right.
Am I going to get this car note paid? You're essentially relying on clients who are, let me tell you, humans are dumb. I'll just say it. All right. So you might spend 2 weeks just going back and forth on a payment agreement, and that's 2 weeks out of the month that you don't have until you build up a nest egg. Like then you'll get to a point, like if you're good enough at what you do, you'll get to a point where you do build up a nest egg, and just in case you're short 1 month, you can cover yourself. But freelancing, it takes a lot. Then with your taxes, that's another thing that people don't think about because for some crazy reason, Uncle Sam, IRS, all them, they know when you making money. When you start, like,
they know when money changes hands everywhere.
Yeah, because they're like, wait a minute, hold on, you got your name on this apartment, you got all this stuff, but we don't see any signs of employment. How are you paying for this? Are you selling crack? Like, so yeah, they be on it, man. Like my taxes, let's just say this, I learned some very valuable lessons during my time freelancing. And I thought, you know what? I really thought that I was that dude too, because I was like, I'm just gonna get out of school, freelance. Man, that shit lasted probably about a year.
I'm gonna live like a king, freelancing, baby. Yeah.
Boy, just let me tell you, trying to explain contracts to people. Hey man, if you're requesting any work from someone and they are trying to explain to you or go over the contract in which you know how many people I could have got over on because they just didn't want to read their contracts? They'll just sign it. They're like, all right, man, whatever.
That's so sad.
Me doing good business, I'm trying to read the contract and explain what each part means. And they're just like, oh, man, give here. And in my heart, I was just thinking, like, I could really get somebody. I could really fuck someone up. But I'm a good guy, and I don't want to go through that. I don't want that karma, so I didn't.
And you didn't want to
But
ruin your reputation out here, man. You know the industry is small but large all at the same time, and
yeah, yeah, yeah.
you know,
Especially in Atlanta. Atlanta is
yeah,
big, small. It's like big because I go to these little events and stuff. I got friends who are into all types of stuff, and
yeah,
you'll
yeah.
keep running into the same people after a while. So yeah, I just didn't want to do it, and just imagine freelance. Like there's a lot of things you could freelance do in the gaming industry as well.
Oh
Like there's
yeah,
a lot of things that you can do. I know a lot of people who do it as side hustles. It's not their main job, but it's a lot of ways to make revenue out here. And I don't even know where I was going with this point, so I'm gonna let you just take over. But I completely
nah. I
forgot.
mean, at the end of the day, it's like it's a hard industry to be a part of.
Yeah, all
You
that.
you know you you just I just really hope that this kind of stabilizes the industry and shows that the developers have some sort of power behind, and that they're showing their value, man, and that they want to be here and that they want to seat at the table. So I hope there's no more layoffs by the end of the year, but you never know. I mean, we're creeping up on August here, and we'll see what happens with the SAG after strike. Like I said, if you guys are curious about it, man, I will make sure to have these links and descriptions in the description box, man, on YouTube and everything. Because I think it's interesting. I do think it's important, man. Like I said, pay attention to AI, man. Find you a way to protect yourself out here, and support the artists and stuff that you love their game, so help them out. So
We about to have triple, what is it, notification things on every login now.
yeah. Right, you're gonna have instead of two factor, it's gonna be three-factor
Oh,
authentication,
it's
and
coming. It's coming. Like there's a lot of stuff coming down the pipeline.
yeah.
And unfortunately, we're playing keep up because boy, the more I read up on ethical, listen guys, ethical hacking, ethical means good. I don't
Man,
want nobody, I don't want them
we
chasing me
uh
around here.
we really got
But
to
the
get your
more,
brother on for an episode for that.
yeah, the more I read up on ethical hacking, it's crazy what the hell like hackers are doing. Hell, they just did something the other day. What was it?
You talking
They
about
just
the
hacked into
the
some shit the
alleged
other day.
the alleged LIDOS hack? The government contractor. Is that what you talking about?
No, it was, oh man, it was something. I saw it come down the news line.
No,
Like
that
they
was the
are
last
into
thing I
all
saw.
types of shit. They in
It,
Pentagon and they doing all kinds of crazy stuff, bruh.
yeah, it's dangerous. It's
It's
dangerous out here, man. And I mean, shout out to BZ in chat, okay? Because he said it's hard for him to buy houses with all his drug money. So he's clearly a criminal. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe to BZ's YouTube,
oh, crackhead
so
hours,
he can
BZ.
so
He
he can
wakes
get out
up.
the streets. Yeah, he's trying
Yes,
to get out the streets.
let's legalize Beezy so he'll stop waking up at 1 and streaming Elden Ring just to make ends meet.
Oh man, I and see that's the kind of thing that's just so funny, man. Like just like we was talking about with gaming and content creation as a whole. Like I really feel like we getting away from that point where gaming's mainstream content. I just you look at your Kai Cenats, AMP, DreamCon.
We're not talking about DreamCon. Shut your mouth.
Does it is it just me, or does it seem like gaming content is really starting to become the least entertaining part of content creation anymore? Like it just seems like you got TikTok trying to move away from it. It looks like uh I always think of Twitch kind of as gaming, because we can talk about like how you consume content. Like the stuff I still do watch is mostly just gaming streams, but
Mm-hmm.
on TikTok I don't really get that stuff on my phone anymore. I don't get it like YouTube Shorts anymore. Not really. I'm always getting more of like IRL style content. I don't know about you, man, but do you kind of feel
No,
like
it's
that, or
well, see, to me, right? Ever since I got into streaming, it's always been the personality for me of the person who's streaming.
yeah,
It's always been that for me. It's never really been about the games. Like it's always been about the person
Yeah.
playing the game. Like me, I'm a very silly person, so I kind of gravitate toward that
Right.
with whoever I'm watching. If you see the list of people I watch, you could usually they're all kind of like have like a sense of humor, kind of goofy. Um, you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
except for Beezy, like he's like really intense and serious all the time. He's
Yeah.
never funny.
He's.
That guy's never funny.
I
He's
mean, that's
always
that
about his
street life.
business.
That street life.
Street life getting to him. But yeah, the most like to me, I don't never really think it was about the games for me.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that for everybody, but I can kind of see what you're saying as far as people moving to more like IRLs and just chatting and I love IRL streams. Like I
Yeah.
really do. Shout out to Terrible Gaming, man. He's been working on his IRL stuff for quite a while now. He took us on a tour through Detroit the other day. It was pretty dope.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Stuff like that, I've really been starting to notice, and I've been getting into it. Um, let's see, like I just watch so many people, and every time I think about a person, it's always like their personality. Like, what are they talking about? Or it's just people giving like for example, Bronze, right? Bronze always gives us a perspective. She
Yeah.
gives us the history of where she's from. She loves talking about the history of her people, where she's from, all this stuff. And I think it's cool. It's almost like you pulling up a YouTube and you just pulling up a documentary, right? Like you're learning, and
Yeah.
then she's
It's
kind of
it's such an
goofy.
interesting thing. Like, what do you kind of call
Yeah.
that, right? Like people
Why is
just
it
love
so
to
entertaining to watch that?
Yeah, it's like it's such a weird way to granularize it, just make it like when you really try to hyper focus on what I guess that's what they really call it mean when they say parasocial relationships. And Beezy hit the nail on the head. Yeah, you and Beezy, most of the top streamers now are just chatters, or like you said, Terrible Gaming, they'll take like their stream mobile. And I think that's what keeps a streamer like Kai on top, right?
Right.
Because he whatever he does, he puts his own creative spin on it. Like them
And he's
getting
funny. Like
they turn a bad
Terrible Gaming is
situation,
hilarious.
yeah, like they'll turn a bad situation into content. And I think we're at that point where you're starting to see the streamers we have been watching the last 10 years kind of, I don't want to say age out, but they have their own little pocket of the industry, just like you said, like Bronze, Terrible Gaming, Beezy. Like you're starting to see these little pockets form of society, of communities, of little tribes, whatever you want to call it.
Even Iron
And
Bagel, like
yeah,
I watch him because like I like the life content that he does, like the
right.
golfing, and he just had like pictures up of him and his son golfing, like stuff like that. I don't know. I can't explain it for me. Maybe y'all could explain it, but to me, like that's entertaining. Like to me,
Watching
maybe it's
other people's
because
lives is entertaining. Yeah, it is.
yeah, maybe it's because the state of the world.
Yeah,
Like right now, things are a little doom and gloom, right? I
true.
mean, we could all say that the future looks a little wild and uncertain right now. So I think what it is whatever escapism or whatever it takes to get my mind off certain things. Like just watching people, like when I come home, I know I'm gonna probably be editing or studying, and sometimes it could just be background noise. Like I'll click on somebody's stream and I
Right.
hear them talking, but I'm like, okay, I'm still working. But sometimes, I'll grab a meal. I'll sit down, like, oh, this
Yeah.
person's streaming. Let's see.
Oh man, my favorite
Like
streamer
Nerdy
streaming.
Netty.
Yeah, shit, yeah.
Like I'm like, oh, every time I wake up, Nerdy Netty is on. So I'm eating my breakfast. I'm watching her. She's another person who has like a hilarious personality. Like she's doing something crazy, funny.
Right.
Sitting here eating my cereal, then I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, time to go to work. So it's like television to a certain degree, but like I think Beasley said it best in the chat. It's damn near background noise. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? It's like the game is there, but it's like the
It's like
person, they'll be talking about their day, like, oh man, I did this and blah blah blah, and but it's not just about talking about your day. you're engaging people as well
Hanging
because
out
you're
with your
like you're
tribe,
pulling
yeah.
up you're pulling up stuff on Google. Like let's just say we'll just throw bronze out there again. Oh, she's talking about tea. Like
Yeah.
she goes on this spell about tea. Now she's pulling up tea on her screen. She's inviting you into her world because she's showing you the exact tea that she drunk, where it's made from. Now she's giving you a history lesson. Now you learning about tea. You're like, damn, I never knew that.
This is pretty
Like
awesome, yeah.
this chick Shay that I was watching her the other day. She was giving a whole breakdown about what rib flare. I was like, what the fuck is that? I didn't even know that was a thing.
Rib flare.
Yeah, it's like when your ribs come like outward or something she was talking
Ouch.
about. And she was just like, yeah, when I was pregnant, I had like rib flare, blah, blah, blah. So I'm sitting up here like this, like, word? I didn't know. And then I'm typing this shit in. I'm like, what the hell is this? And then I'm like, oh, so I don't know, man. Like, I think that's kind of where we going with the streaming industry.
Yeah.
I think that like more just life stuff. Like, look at TikTok. Like, you just have people like cooking, or I was watching a lady talk about what's not toilet paper, paper towel.
Yeah.
She was talking about her favorite paper towel, and I'm looking at this. I'm like, I
'Cause
never knew Bounty was the quicker quilted
you was like, oh man,
picker
I
upper.
gotta try that now, right? But you see, that's how it is, right? And it's gonna turn content creators are the new. They're the new billboards. We're the new advertisers for things,
Or
and
tiny house reviews. Oh, that's my other
you
one.
know, yeah, you have that, right? And then you're gonna have you already have people doing VTubing, which I think is gonna be the next huge wave, honestly. And you pair that with what the potential of something like AI could do. Now you guys are starting to see why people are kind of like, I don't want to say afraid of it, but should be wary of it. Because there's going to be a point where there's going to be a fully tuned AI content creator, streamer, VTuber, responding to chat, talking, thanking people for donations, just sitting there talking to people. And that's really,
VTubing is so interesting.
yeah.
I really
So
want to have a VTuber on so bad.
I think it'll be cool, man. I mean, I think as a content creator, you should always kind of be looking forward to what's next. And if I were to give some advice, I would say try to mix in some of that stuff. It could start out as just normal conversation about things you're interested in outside of gaming. I love to cook. I like to watch people cook too. I like to watch cooking shows. Like I'm super into that stuff. And you can talk about your favorite anime. You can really just start to kind of branch out and round out your community because, like I said, I think gaming is always going to be there as content. I think people are always going to watch people who stream and make games, or play games. But I think we're done with the days of
Just straight gaming.
there's not going to always be a Jinxie or somebody to break out just from playing games. He blew up on TikTok playing Siege, which was really cool to see. But you starting to see less of that and more IRL people go viral, more lifestyle people go viral, more those type of content, travel TikTok travel people. I love watching that stuff too. See, and maybe you could find a path into that to be your success and just play games on the side or something. I don't know. I'm just saying, like it's possible, man. And
If you have a vision,
yeah,
I say stick with your vision, but also try to incorporate. You always want to stay ahead of the curve. So see
yeah,
what's going on, how you can implement that into your vision of what you want your streaming career to be like. Like once again, BZ in the chat, you always got to adapt. You want to put yourself into whatever you're doing, but you kind of want to take
yeah.
bits and pieces of what's going on and incorporate it into what you're trying to do, and then I think you'll just be fine. But to most people's credit, I don't see a lot of people out here just streaming games anymore. Well, people who's really, really trying to
Just
take
straight
it to
up
like
doing
the
it.
next.
Nah, those people have been
But some
grandfathered in,
people,
man. Yeah, they really have.
but then again, you like gotta understand because a lot of people are just streaming games, but at the same time, that's where they want to be. They're fine. Like me, I want
Yeah,
to get back into streaming because like it's not something that I'm trying to like blow up off of. I just miss talking to people.
Yeah.
Like it was fun streaming and just laughing at my horrible gameplay. Like we were just sitting
Streaming is
there.
always awesome, man. It's always
Yeah,
fun to
it's
play
just
with
like a
people.
little community to
Yeah.
kick it with. Like it's just fun. It's just like relaxing and the short time that I did it, I enjoyed it. Like it was fun, but I used to I used to just what was I playing at the time? I don't even remember. I was playing a little bit of everything, but it was cool. Like, and we definitely, you know what? We're gonna have BZ on. We're gonna have BZ on here soon. Next time we talk about this because
I think it's a great conversation that
I think he adapts well.
yeah, he
I
does.
think he adapts well to everything that's happening from the tech side to the on-screen side. We've watched this guy grow his brand into what it is today, from like just streaming on one platform to doing multiple streams to watching his subs go up.
Yep.
The way that he interacts with his chat, I think one of your reasons why you succeed so much, BZ, is because I noticed this last night during our Crackhead Hour stream. You do a really good job at making people feel like a part of your stream, if that makes sense, because he acknowledges people. I know it's going to be harder to do that as your channel continues to grow because of the numbers, but the way that you talk to people, you really kind of engage them and make them feel like they are a part of your Elden Ring escapade. Like I was just really kind of like,
Yeah.
maybe because I just woke up, but I was hyper like focused on his stream, and I was just noticing like little things about the stream and looking at the numbers and seeing like, okay, I could see why he's growing. Because if you look at other people stream, like they're playing Elden Ring and they're just like, they're just so focused on the boss because
They're not. Yeah, they're a lot of people. A lot of people find it hard to do entertainment along with with playing difficult content or making playing difficult games as content.
Not even difficult.
It's something to be said, man, and that's just really. I think it's something that people, like I said, man, always be looking forward as a streamer. You really want to, or not streamer, or content creator. You really
gotta think.
You really want to do that.
Focusing on chat and then playing a game is a skill. I don't care what nobody say because I've done it. I've streamed. Yeah. You stream, so
it took me a long. I want to say it took me a solid, no bullshit, 4 or 5 months to get comfortable doing it. It's hard.
Yeah, it's especially hard. It's not.
I don't even have that many people watching a lot of times, but it's fucking hard sometimes
to make people feel involved in your stream. Like,
yeah.
To take these people on a journey with you and trying to pay attention to chat and play a game like Elden Ring is insane. Like, I would fry brain cells trying to do that.
Nah, Elden Ring's fun, man. It's a good time. But yeah, I like I said, guys, as we kind of like winding down here, man. It's always interesting to see how all this stuff is kind of related. Like I said, it always goes back to AI, in my opinion. Educate yourselves, man. Support SAG-AFTRA, and they said they still want people to play games. The biggest thing is they want people to talk about this and spread this information. So, we're gonna do our due diligence here, man. It's always fun to talk about games, but this stuff is important too because this could affect how we play games going forward. So, please make sure you guys check this information out. And thank you guys for hanging out today, man, for episode 199. Next week's the big 200, man. 200 babundo. I don't know what we're gonna do for that, or we're gonna talk about that day, but we'll figure it out. And I really don't have a lot today, man. You guys can find me everywhere, Dearest Artist, on Twitter, Dearest Artist, where E is a 3. DC.
Well, it's been a long time since I gave you guys my whereabouts, but
where are ye? Where are ye?
Where are ye? I'm mainly on Twitter now. I don't even. What is my Twitter?
Thank you, BC. Thank you.
I don't even know my.
It's at 1LDC, I think. Underscore maybe.
There you go.
Hold on, let me.
It's underscore 1LDC underscore, right? Is that me?
I'm gonna find them guys live real quick.
Yeah, find me, please. I want people to come visit me because I like talking.
Yeah,
to
it's
you guys.
At 1LDC underscore. Yes, underscore 1LDC underscore. Yes, so it's a underscore
come
sandwich.
Talk to me, man.
Yeah.
Let's talk some positivity, man. Let's put some positivity into this goddamn world, all right? We're gonna be your safe haven for positivity, all
We're gonna keep
right?
it there, man.
Not none of that crooked positivity. What do you call it?
Toxic,
Negative positivity? I
toxic,
don't know, toxic positivity.
toxic positivity.
Hey, we just want to be a place where we talk about games, have fun, and do cool shit with our friends, all right?
That's it. That's
Y'all
it,
with
man.
me? And wait. I don't know if y'all watching this live. I did it for the culture, man. I'm bringing it back, man. I got my FUBU jersey on. We bringing it back.
Why did I just realize you're wearing one?
We bringing it back for the culture, baby.
I like it. I like it.
I'm bringing FUBU back, man. Nothing
Hey,
but FUBU on this show from now on. Show is sponsored by FUBU. For us, by us. But y'all can come here too if you're somebody else, you know. We love everyone. We love everyone.
Hey, let's go, FUBU baby. All right, man. Thank you guys for hanging out for episode 199. If you guys are in chat, hang around, man. We're gonna play some video games as always, man. We appreciate you guys. We'll see you guys next week. Peace.